Hi everyone and welcome to another video. In this video we will explain about Summing to Book from Unit 6 to 10 and I hope you enjoy it. Unit number 6 is about troubles while traveling. Within this unit we are going to find a preview which provides vocabulary about some problems that people can have while traveling. For example, inedible or not food on flights if you have an air travel, mechanical breakdowns in the case you have a car travel, and poor air conditioning or heating if you experiment other travel hazards, for example in a public bus. Then we are going to find a reading in order to learn expressions like I'm drawing blank. It's a sad bet. The way I see it. I'm toast. You'll cross the bridge when you come to it. No sweat. And off. In lesson number 1, there is another reading, but here is include new grammar, which corresponds to real conditional sentences, continuous forms to express actions in progress, for the reason you have present and real conditional sentences and past and real conditional sentences. In lesson number 2, there is another new grammar, that is unreal conditional statements to express regret or relief according to the situation. And of course, you will have a lot of exercises to a little bit more. In lesson number 3, there is a reading which is about using public Wi-Fi networks and some tips to do it. In lesson number 4, you will learn about past participles as noun modifiers. So remember that past participles of transitive verbs can function as modifiers, and they can precede or follow the noun they modify. Finally, there is a review in which there are some exercises to complete according to what you learned in the whole.
Lisbeth Andina, Unit 7, Mind over Matter. Communication goals. 1. Suggests that someone is being gullible. 2. Examine superstitions for believability. 3. Talk about the power of suggestion. 4. Discuss phobias. Idioms. What's on your mind? I may be imagining things. If I were in your shoes, keep in mind, don't get me wrong, and the cat's out of the bag. Lesson 1. We have 4 rules for nouns. 1. Use indefinite articles a and with indefinite singular count nouns. 2. Use the definite article da with definite singular and plural count nouns and with definite non-count nouns. 3. Use da with a person, place, or thing that is unique. 4. When using nouns in a generic sense, use a singular count noun with a, an, or da, or use a plural count noun with a one article. We have examples. Lesson 2. Grammar. Indirect speech, it plus a passive reporting verb. To report a generalized statement or belief, use it plus a passive reporting verb plus a noun clause. As in indirect speech, the verb in noun clause reflects the tense of the reporting verb. Lesson 3. Vocabulary. Investigated, fake, a placebo, silly behavior, effective, overlooked, genuine, an adverse reaction, ineffective. Lesson 4. Vocabulary. Expressions with mind. Make up one's mind, change one's mind, put something out of one's mind, be all in one's mind, be out of one's mind. We have some phobias. In writing, we have subject-verb agreement, expansion, in which we have 5 rules to write a correct paragraph. Thank you.
In Unit 8, called Performing at Your Best, you will learn about emotional intelligence, standard intelligence, and what is the difference between a genius and an intelligent person. In page 87, you must need to memorize the following collocations or idioms in order to express concern about a family member, such as out of the blue, put her nose to the grindstone, it's now or never, gut feeling, goes in one ear and out the other, I can't help it. In page 88 you will find some expressions to describe talents and strengths, such as be good with one's hands, mechanical inclined, have a head for figures, have an ear for music, have an eye for detail, have a good intuitive sense, have a way with words, have a way with people, and have a knack for. You must take these expressions because you will need it for the next exercises in order to describe other person's talents and strengths. In the next pages you will find some grammar about using auxiliaries for emphatic stress. So in order to add emphatic stress to an affirmative statement in the simple present or past tense, use do or did before the base form of the verb. In page 19, you will find a reading with the topic, Can intelligence be increased? This article is about ways of increasing intelligence like doing puzzles, learning a new language, and not allow your brain to get lazy, so you will improve your thinking skills, your capacity to remember, and general knowledge. Finally, in the writing section on page 96, you will find rules in order to connect words and phrases which are commonly used to clarify relationships between ideas, using the following phrases to focus on causes, such as due to, because of, as a result of, and as a consequence of. And for results, you can use as result, comma, as a consequence, comma, consequently, comma, and therefore, comma.
Let's continue with unit number 9. In this unit we studied the grammar about passive voice. It's important to remember that passive voice is used when the action is more important than the person or thing doing the action. And in order to have a good sentences using passive voice, we have to follow some rules. For example, in the future we have to use will be or be going to be plus past participle. In the future as seen from the past, we have to use would be or was were going to be plus past participle. And in the future perfect, we have to use will have been or be going to have been plus past participle, as you can see in these examples. Regarding with the vocabulary, we have some words to talk about innovative technologies. For example, remote surgery, genetic engineering, virtual reality, computer chips implants, artificial intelligence, cloning, and nanotechnology.
Unit 10. In this unit, we'll be able to react to new about global issues, to discuss the impact of foreign imports, to discuss the pros and cons of globalization, to suggest ways to avoid culture shock. So, if you want to sound as a native speaker, that's the reason why you must use idioms in your daily conversations. For example, on the fiance, it's bad enough that a fish out of water, you're pulling my leg, a losing battle, how do you like that? And money talks. So, when you are on the fiance, it means that you have not made a decision. Another, if someone pulls your leg, he or she is only kidding. You can find more idioms on page 111. Now, in the lesson 1, we'll find vocabulary, and those are phrasal verbs to discuss issues and problems such as bring about, carry out, come down with, come out with, go without, play up, put up with, run out of, and wide out. So, an example of this, we'll find that bring about, to make something happen, to cause or exist. An example of this could be, we need to agree about what the problems are in respects to bring about change. So, in the lesson 2, we'll find the grammar, separability of transitive phrasal verbs. In this grammar, we'll find two kinds of phrasal verbs, separable and inseparable. Separable, we'll find some examples such as bring about, carry out, figure out, find out, give it up, and those. And we'll see that in this part we have two options to write the direct object in the middle of this phrasal verb or at the end. And in the separable case, we have to always put the direct object at the end of the phrasal verb. And those are these examples: care for, cater up to, come across, come up with, and another. Now, the lesson 3, here we'll find a reading in which we'll talk about if globalization is good or not, what does it promise, and how it has been helping us in our way of living. In the lesson 4, we'll find this word, a culture shock. the feeling of anxiety or confusion that people have when they visit a foreign country and experience a new culture for the first time. So here you will find listening, in which we listen to a radio program in which they will suggest some ways to avoid this problem through listen some experience that some people had. And finally we'll find a writing, in which you find the correct way to ground a refutal to an opposite argument or point of view through supporting our ideas by presenting them one by one. Thank you very much, and this was Summit 2. Thank you very much.